there's a saying in the world that goes, no pain, no gain. And I think that is the most true shit I have ever heard. Because that quote literally applies to anything. In order to have the good things in life, you also need to have things that make you want to bash your skull in a thick girl's thighs. As much as I enjoy eating my fried chicken or pizzas, I also gotta eat my veggies and salad. Or if we're talking about movies, as much as I enjoy masterpieces like How to Train Your Dragon or Everything Everywhere All at Once, I also enjoy watching bullshits like Godzilla vs. Kong or Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. Or how about the most recent Crunchyroll Anime Awards? As much as I loved watching these animes with great plot and characters like Frieren or Apothecary Diaries or Delicious in Dungeon, I also quite enjoy the bad ones like Solo Leveling. What? The writing and characters are shit, I'm standing on that. But all in all, this transitions to my main point. The reason I am making this video, to give you awareness and a recommendation to something bad. Because as much as we all enjoy great mangas, ones that invoke emotions and life-changing lessons like ones in Vinland Saga, Vagabond, The Climber, we also gotta talk about another series that is so abhorrent that it is actually an insult just for existing. And you can probably already tell from the thumbnail of this video that we're gonna talk about the manga, How the Little Brother Who Turned Into a Girl became his big brother's girlfriend. You know, I think humanity is doomed. But I'm gonna put myself out there and be the sole defender of this series and hopefully give you guys hope in the world and show you that maybe this manga really isn't as bad as you think. 2 videos ago, I gave everyone a little lesson about not judging a book by its cover, and I gotta practice what I preach. The title is concerning, but look at the cover. That looks like a dummy thick mommy, and y'all know me, that's pretty much the ultimate motivator for me to achieve my goals. So realistically, come on, how bad can it really be? The story is about a guy who lost his mom when he was little, and eventually his dad remarried and got a little stepbrother of his own. A stepbrother who is quiet, cheerful, and smart, but is unexpectedly a spoiled kid who is clingy towards him. But all of a sudden, he comes home to his brother with a side ponytail, a higher pitched voice, and a femboy coded pose that even Astafol would be proud of. And it's like, yo, what the fuck happened? No, seriously, what the fuck happened? But before he could wallow in his thoughts, we see his brother call him out to have dinner. And his angle might seem sus, but this is actually pretty common in manga panels, you know? A lot of times, the purpose of this angle is to show us their way of looking down on a character. So, they're actually being smart because they're trying to say that this is the reincarnation of the devil himself. But anyways, time keeps passing by without anybody mentioning the weirdness of this whole situation with her body developing quickly or her still acting like a dude around her main character, and when he, or rather she now, wants to sleep in the same room as her brother and he rejected her, she's like, mo aniki baka. So he's like, ugh, okay fine, and she's like, Hondani? Yatta! This angle is to show that he is looking up to his younger sibling. It is a normal thing that every sibling does, and there is nothing weird about it. Anyways, after a few more chapters, now they're finally addressing the elephant in the room, like, seriously, what the fuck just happened to you? Because no matter how you see it, it is weird. And don't start canceling me and calling me a trans hater or whatever they call it, because I don't care. I really don't care what people decide to do with their own bodies. But if I am talking with my family and my younger sister leaves for a few hours and come back as a dude, I'm not gonna go, oh hey, welcome back. Anyways, as I was saying, like, no, I need an explanation. Also, how do we even know that this was the dude's decision? He just grew a few inches of hair within a few minutes. Not even Turkey can do that. And are we not gonna mention how the main character is the only one who noticed this when they still have parents? Basically, all that I am saying is that this seems like the type of conversation that would take hours. But they condensed it into 2 pages. And within that 2, they're not even focusing at the problem because their biggest concern is that she is worried her big brother is not gonna look at her the same way anymore. Like, yeah, no shit, one had a dick and one has things that can get my channel deleted. And within the next page, it becomes a rom-com. What the fuck? But okay, that's actually fine. We've seen plenty of mangas that's changed their genres all of a sudden, and sometimes it's a good thing. And you know, she looks really young, but hold on to your FBIs because he looks young too. It's like watching Dangers in My Heart, where we see 2 middle schoolers fall in love with each other and it was a wholesome good time. And one thing I can say is how fast this is going. Because instead of waiting for a few hundred chapters to wait for a love confession, these two already share a kiss scene within the next 2 chapters. And you know, I gotta give them a hats off to that. Anyways, next chapter just continues on like nothing happened, and it's back to being a, I don't know, whatever the fuck this manga is trying to be. And now we learn that she is going back to school, which is still weird because nobody is questioning what happened. Everybody in their class just went,
Huh? What? I thought she was a boy.
kawaii! And I don't know if the people in this manga are just naturally unhinged, but she even said shit that is extremely sus like it's nobody's business. Never mind how nonchalant and accepting everybody is, like their IQ is under 3 digits, but people start asking her, hey, you wanna try to look as pretty as possible? And her response is,
as long as it makes my Oni-chan happy.
isn't that kinda weird? I don't know, I don't expect them to start putting people in prison, but nobody bat an eye to that comment. Not even a, huh? That sounds pretty sus, sister. Nothing, just kawaii. But okay, I can still defend this because at least they are making it clear about what type of setting they are trying to make. We have a good establishment about what logic works here and what logic doesn't work here in this manga. So you know, good job on the author for that. So the manga continues, these siblings keep doing their thing, being sus as shit, and her staying flirty as all hell, and nobody is batting an eye. And this angle is just to promote how safe school swimsuits are. Nothing weird about that. Look, she's just asking if her brother would want to touch her to make sure that the swimsuits are perfectly made. Doesn't everybody do that to their sibling? What's happening? Oh, they're talking about the shopping mall. yeah, I knew that. You guys are just brain rot and have your minds in the gutter. There's nothing weird about this manga. You guys just need to go outside and touch grass. This manga is completely fine. Only thing weird about this page is the fact that they came to this mall by her big brother's car. Wait, how do you have a car? Could kids in Japan do that? Okay, maybe that's just a thing in the world of manga. Again, some logics apply and some logics don't. The author has already told us this. Good job again, author. And hey, look, oh, a MILF! Yes! Oh, thank God, something good! I mean, no, this manga has always been good. I just mean, good-er. You know? Okay guys, so this is the main character's stepmom, and she starts giving us exposition of what our little brother slash sister is really like as a person, and giving us some hints and context of what might have happened to him. Turns out he's always been clingy since the beginning, and even said that he's always planned on marrying his big brother. But when his friends told him that boys can't marry boys, he got sad and started crying for a long time. Then boom, all of a sudden he becomes a girl. So maybe this was his plan all along. And his own biological mom has no problem with any of this. And I don't just mean the gender thing, because I'm not even gonna try to understand how the common sense works in this manga, but she is dead ass supporting their relationship. Like telling him to take care of her daughter. Ma'am, I don't know if you know this, but you shouldn't be rooting for your own children to marry each other. Okay, but again, some logics apply and some logics don't. We know this. Okay, let's move on. We're back to having dates again. Wow, woo! We are family, aka in a romantic relationship in Japan. Everything is cute. Everything is wholesome. We get a wardrobe episode. We go back to having a sleeping together episode. We get a misunderstanding episode. And ooh, we even get a jelly episode. You guys might not notice, but I love seeing the love interests get jealous. They're one of my favorite types of tropes in anime because they are just so damn adorable. And sulking girls are just one of those cute things that I can never get rid of. Even though there is nothing between them and they shouldn't get jealous, and they're just talking about catching up by getting a drink together and talking about not seeing each other since they're... Wait, when do people do their coming of age ceremony? Yeah, this manga needs to be burned down. Like, forever. So not only do we have bad writing, bad bad characters. Incest. But now we are going to add PDFs into the mix. Wow. Okay. Yeah, no, absolutely not. This manga is undefendable. I am not gonna put my name out there to back up some Diddy anime. I saw a comment in my previous video saying that Office Menace Alert is the worst piece of fiction behind Rent a Girlfriend. But this has to take the cake. Because listen, I know and you know that I've said before that a MILF is the ultimate motivator for me to keep reading something that I don't even like. And the fact that there is a thick one in the cover and I am still gonna drop it speaks a lot of volumes. Because I'm sorry, I am not going to read 150 chapters of Lollybait just to see a mommy that I know is gonna be shit. You know how I know that it's gonna be shit? Because they already showed a mommy and she was shit. She was rooting for her daughter to get into an incestuous and literal FBI coded relationship. I don't care if you just want your daughter to be happy, but that is bad parenting. Yes, even worse than you. And Jesus Christ, this guy is even working? How is anybody in their right mind even okay with this? How does shit even work? Oh, I know how. Because nobody in this manga, including the author, are in their right minds. Anyways, don't read it. I'm gonna go now. That's enough garbage for me today. I'm gonna go and watch a masterpiece. Oh,